Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. As you can see, we are in our funky looking format because I have a lack of time today. I think going forward that whenever my schedule is a bit cramped, I will do videos like this. Therefore, I can guarantee that a video will get up. Just saying. Okay, I know. The only reason why I'm over explaining that is because I am pretty sure in a video like this, if not last week, the week before, I said, this isn't my normal kind of content. It will be when I'm short on time. How about that? Okay. So I'm going to skip over that typical intro. I'm just going to say if you want to work with me in any way, shape, or form, or where to find me in other places on the internet or my other YouTube channel, Kimberly's Other Life. All of that information is in the drop box below. I do have 3 channel memberships if that interests you. The channel memberships are weekly encouragement. I suggest you join the VIP Advanced Manifestors group because that is the group that has access to all the channel memberships. So therefore, for you, that would mean hanging out with me 3 times a week. Aren't you so lucky? Just teasing. But no, you are. You are. I'm fun to hang out with. And yeah, all that information is in the Dropbox below. The Advanced Manifestors group is the deep dive group. That's the group where we are reading everything you can think of regarding manifestation. We are deep diving, and then we have conversation after that based off of what we read. We are deepening our knowledge, therefore amping up our manifestation game, amping up our manifestation abilities. Ooh, I like that. That's a mindset, just saying. But as well as that, you have access to the exclusive lives group, which is the success story tips and tips group. And it's been off the chain. I know I've been saying it for the last couple of months, but it's off the chain. Every single Tuesday, we have amazing successes. And to be honest, I know more amazing successes are going to happen because I've already got the emails of people telling me, oh my God, Kim, you won't believe what just happened. You were right. I know I'm right. Don't be afraid to believe me. Don't be afraid. It won't hurt you. It will make your life more fun, but just saying. So if you need encouragement and you want to feel uplifted along your journey, if you're, feeling a bit down and want to hear other success stories live from that person's mouth, well, then join my exclusive lives group. Again, if you join the Advanced Manifestors, well, hello, you're going to have access to that. Just saying. I also have that hot seat group, and that's the group you can get in the hot seat and ask me anything you want. Okay, I'm all done. Let's jump in. So remember, side note, no editing. Sorry. So let's talk about when we feel pissed at our own selves, frustrated with our own selves, or even regretting things within our 3D. So let's say you've been on your manifestation journey and you've been killing it. You've been killing it. And you start experiencing amazing movement in your 3D. Or maybe you haven't seen any movement yet, and that's okay. But maybe when that movement started happening, your response to it at first was great as your new self. And then you found yourself in the aftermath of what you would call regressing, like going back into old behaviors. First of all, let me make very, very clear. We're going to stop that self-judgment today. You're all done calling it regressing or falling backwards, or you've messed things up. I cannot stress to you, I mean it. Hand over my heart, I mean it. You can't mess anything up. And I am so strongly convicted in that belief that, well, that's the evidence, right? This is how this works, right? What you believe to be true will be true. I believe that to be true. And that's the evidence I experience in my 3D reality. It's the evidence I experience from listening also to the people that work with me. You can't mess things up. So if that's something you're fearing, let's take that right on off the table. I'm telling you, you can't mess up reality. You can't. You see, because you already don't control the unfolding. And because you don't control it and I don't control it, we don't know exactly what it is supposed to look like in our 3D. So here's you sitting at home, overthinking, overanalyzing, critiquing, judging, beating yourself up for something you may have done. Let's say you got contact from SP and it got kind of quiet again. So you reached out some more. You started poking, what I would refer to as poking the 3D, and started getting triggered because they weren't responding as cool and as, loving or amazing as they were when you first got the movement. So that old fear of them pulling away from you started rearing its head, and you fell back into the old behaviors, like I said in the beginning of the video. This is not something to judge yourself for. You see, you even being able to catch it, be aware of it, understand that it is a part of your old self or it's an old habit of yours, you even being able to identify that is evidence that you've shifted. And there's nothing really wrong. Just go back to your decision. And I know how simplistic that sounds, but there's a reason why I word it that way. Go back. Go back to your decision. Listen, whatever you believe in, God, universe, higher power, source energy, fucking moonbeams, it knows your true heart's desire. It also knows you're human. And yeah, I'm calling it an it, but it's also what's inside of you. So whether you personally believe that's God, then God knows your heart's desire. And God doesn't expect you to be perfect. Neither does the universe, your higher self, whatever your belief is, whatever you believe your I am is. I've shared before from my perspective, I refer to it as God. God is the I am, but that's what's inside of me. That's what's inside of you. That's what I believe. You see, God already sees you as perfect. You already are. If you're a parent, tell me how you think about your own child. Don't you see your own children as perfect? Yes, they have their little personalities, but overall, you probably unconditionally love them. And by the way, fur babies count. You probably unconditionally love them, right? Well, that's what the I am feels or sees about us. So there's a reason why it's okay if we make mistakes. And chances are we're going to make mistakes. We're human. Humans have all sorts of experiences. God doesn't see things as mistakes. It's just the self, the identity. Kimberly, who puts the label on something as good or bad. That was a mistake. That was a good move. You see, it's always going to come back down to that identity. So, can you really mess up your manifestation? No. No, you can't. Because, like I was saying earlier in the video, that we don't know what the unfolding might look like. And you never know. For the sake of conversation, what if you reaching back out to your specific person in that exact moment? Just in that moment. I'm not saying pick up the phone and start bugging them again. I'm not saying that, because if you're only going to regret it later, then don't do it. You see what I'm saying? But what if that was a part of the unfolding? What if that was? What if this moment, you watching this video, is the moment that you come into the understanding about something regarding manifestation? Maybe something I'm saying in this video is triggering you in a good way. You finally click with something. What if that moment when you reached out or whatever you did in reality that you're currently regretting, what if that is the action that needed to happen to wake you up, that those behaviors or that belief about yourself was still there, that habit of beating yourself up for doing something you would call a mistake or something stupid? What if it was just to bring it to your attention that that's the self you're identifying with? You have the ability, the free will, to label anything in any way you want. So let's decide right now. Somehow, some way, this is still leading to your outcome, because it is. The I am God, he or she knows your inner intention. You know your inner intention, your heart's desire. You do. And you know that more than likely every day you are reminding yourself of who you want to be. That is, if you follow what I say in my videos. If you know every day you are making that decision to be that version of yourself, the self that has whatever it is you're manifesting. Bottom line, that's the only thing that really matters. If you keep reaching for that, we'll say the wish fulfilled, or the state of the wish fulfilled, or the version of self that has what you want, if you keep reaching for it every day, reminding yourself that that's who you're choosing to be, you're going to shift, and you're going to experience evidence in your 3D. So right now you focused on beating yourself up, judging yourself, criticizing yourself, or being embarrassed to even admit you fell back down, right? Or you fell out of the state. See, that's all part of an old identity, a belief system of not being good enough. That's really all that is. So stop judging yourself. I'm telling you, you cannot ruin a manifestation. Somehow that moment you think you made a mistake in is still leading to your end. It doesn't have to make sense to us. It more than likely won't, the 3D. And it's okay if right now, if you're in fear that you've done anything, took an action you shouldn't have in your 3D, first of all, listen, stop torturing yourself. You could always revise it. You could revise, you never did it. If it really, that would make you feel better. If it's really bothering you. But I don't even think you need to. I think you need to reward yourself that you are even aware that you were in an old habit. That's evolvement. That's a shift. Why? Because we view and perceive reality through a filter. The filter coming from the identity or the version of self we believe we are, or what state we're in. So if you're currently in a state, we'll say back to the moment where you took that action that you are calling unfavorable, you wouldn't be able to really perceive, oh my God, I'm making a mistake. Oh my God, I'm being a needy, desperate bitch. Not really. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Can't perceive outside of what state you're in. It's exactly why, if you pay attention, that when you are in a, we'll say a more elevated state or more favorable state, it's why when you think about the shitty state that you used to be in, it's why you can't understand why you ever felt that way, why you were ever worried, why you feel and think so differently now. You can't perceive another state unless you're in it. So you being able to perceive, you took we'll say a desperate, needy action, is showing you've shifted, baby. You've already shifted back on out of that state. Remember, all states, all versions of selves have access to all emotions, all feelings. Hey, come here. Don't be rude. Be a nice girl. So just because maybe you're having a low day, maybe you're feeling low because you're really probably over criticizing yourself, that doesn't mean you can't be your new self. That doesn't mean you can't be in that state. I know I'm a mom. I know I'm a daughter. I know I'm a sister. And I know I'm a girlfriend. But I can be in a bad mood. Doesn't mean I've lost that identity. Do you see what I mean? Don't overthink it. Stop criticizing yourself. You can't mess this up. The only thing at the end of the day that ever honestly really matters is, who are you choosing to be? What version of self are you choosing for yourself? And if you're really feeling down, then I challenge you. Think of 3 things that you are grateful for. 3 things. It's a short ass list. Come on. I'm not asking too much. 3 things right off the top of your head. 3 things you are super grateful for. Now think about each one of those in this moment. Think about them. I bet if you started watching this video feeling stressed or feeling upset over whatever you may have done, if you spent a moment or two thinking of each one of those 3 things to be grateful for, I bet you'll notice the change in how your body feels. So if you're feeling super stressed, super regretful, outside the fact that you can just revise you never did what you're concerning yourself with. If you're feeling that stress right now, think of the 3 things that you're grateful for. Your body will have to respond to it. You're going to feel differently. And guess what? That's you, because appreciation, gratitude, that is literally you, if we're talking like the old law of attraction days, raising your vibration. It just means a match. So whenever you're in a state, so let's say we're in a version of self that is experiencing gratitude. Well, you know how this works? Reality is reflection. Guess what's going to happen? Things you're grateful for are going to start appearing. More evidence will be appearing. Everything is really contingent on what we are focused on, what we are believing. The less attached we are to how things unfold in 3D reality, so that we're not labeling things as, well, this is wrong, this happened, so this must mean something terrible. Oh my God, I texted him and I was bugging him and begging him to respond to me. I've ruined everything. No, you have not. Let's snap, crackle, pop your ass right on out of that thinking. No, you have not. Go back. Go back to your decision to be the version of yourself that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, period. You don't even have to bring the focus to SP in this moment. Focus on the you in the equation. Who are you in that relationship? How do you feel being in that relationship? Wouldn't it be wonderful if everything that you're manifesting was here, right now, right in front of you? What if literally everything you were doing was leading you to your outcome? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, guess what? It is. Literally everything is leading you right to that end. So you have nothing to worry about. Not if you know what your heart's intention is. All I mean by that is, who do you want to be? Well, give that person more attention. The version of you want to be. Bring it on back. Okay? All we ever have is that present moment, right? All we ever have is this present moment. So now that we're aware of how manifestation works, we are experiencing our reflection out here. So let's not waste our current present moment thinking about unfavorable things in the past or things that are upsetting you because you're overthinking and mislabeling them anyway. And let's use this present moment to focus on the reality we choose, the reality we prefer. I'm telling you, reality is going to start shooting you evidence to reflect the new reality. Even if you doubt that to your core while watching this, we are always experiencing reflection. I'm telling you, it's going to work. You're going to come back. Number one, you're going to come back. You're going to let me know how that focusing on those 3 things that you're grateful for made you feel a little bit better and how I was right. Whatever happened in reality, you didn't mess it up. You'll see. You'll see. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.